Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Funtime Crafts 24/7. I have a fun little project here that I want to do with you. I got these little birdie paint pouring medium and acrylic pouring paints off of littlebirdie.crafts.com. I was watching a YouTube video on a haul. Lorraine Barton over at New Beginnings a while ago had a little birdie haul. And so I went on there, purchased a few things, and while I was, dinging around on there, I was buying mostly their handmade flowers. They're absolutely beautiful, and they have a great price on them there. While I was looking around at those and looking at what else was on sale, I found these items, as well as these little wooden coasters. These were $1. These paints that are 60 milliliters were $2 each. And then this 240 milliliter paint pouring medium was, I believe this was $4 for this big bottle. And I thought, gosh, for that, how could you go wrong? That's a really good deal. And thought it'd be fun to mess around with them. Well, I hadn't had a chance till now. And I thought this would be a fun project to try. And especially for making like craftware items, if you wanted to sell them, or for gifts for your family. If you wanted to make them some coasters and stuff, or just even a fun little wall hanging. They have the square ones, the 4-inch square ones. And then they also have these like round ones here. And I think these are like 3.5-inch or something, as far as the size of these round ones. And so this was the first set I did, trying all different types of techniques and stuff and getting my bearings about how to use this stuff. And then this was the next two that I did, and trying to figure out how to thin the paint down and stuff. And so I thought, well, I think I got my bearings on it, or well enough that we could do it together. So basically what they say you should do is you have to shake all the paints up really good. The pouring medium you do not want to shake at all. You want to be in a well-ventilated area because this is drying paint, and it has not a horrible smell, it just smells like paint drying. And you want to shake your paints up really, really good. And then you don't want to shake the pouring medium because you don't want air bubbles in it. And so, yeah, you want to leave that as still as possible until you go to mix it. So what I have here is I have Timeless Teal, Berry Blush, Sapphire Trail, and Plum Orchid. And those are the colors that we're going to do those two coasters and finish out that set there. So what you do is you just pour a touch in the... You're supposed to have equal parts, like 1-to-1 ratio, but it doesn't really work out that way. Because this berry blush, you have to thin it down quite a ways. And so, yeah. So what I'm actually pouring into is a disposable cake pan. And the other set I did over there, the round ones there, those are in the lid of this disposable cake pan. And so you just pitch those when you're done. These are just little dipping cups that I got from Costco for a party one time, and they come in a bazillion of them, so I just used these. Some large popsicle sticks to stir, and that's about it. And then, yeah, that's all you need for this. And then gloves. Honestly, you actually probably do need some gloves, because this is messy. But it's fun. And they'll make really good gifts. I think they'll be super fun to give out as Christmas presents. You can do them in their favorite colors, or to sell at a craft fair in sets of 4. And but anyways, you could do them in their favorite colors, or if they have an anniversary, you could do it for the color of the anniversary, or wedding. You could even do them as wedding favors, I would guess. In the wedding party's colors, that would be fun. Gosh. To do marbled coasters. Oh, dude, that would be a hoot. And how much fun. You could have your bridesmaids help you, or, something like that. That would be super fun. And so, then after you get your paint in your cups, you're just going to add some pouring medium. That's what is that? Berry Blush. I'm going to actually add water to, because this doesn't thin it down hardly at all. And it is not pourable, and you want it to be what I saw was you wanted it to be the consistency of melted honey. And so 1-to-1 ratio on the ones that, you know, are pretty liquidy, and then the other ones 1-to-1, but then add a little water to it. So I'm just going to nab a little out of my Distress Sprayer water bottle and pour some in there. Just a touch. You don't need a lot because, you know, it's already liquid. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to use one stir stick per color. Ooh. Probably should have mixed it up first and then added the water, but oh well. Or added the water, then added the medium and mixed. I don't know. That's like super liquidy. But give it a big stir. It'll be fine. Yeah, there we go. See, it's getting thicker. And you want it to be pourable like that. And then I'm going to attempt to do the technique that's called a tree ring, where you stack or layer your paint in a cup and then pour it into the middle of the item you're, you know, doing the pour on. And then do little time. Oh, bummer, dude. Oh, all over my pants. Alright, well, I was going to tell you anyways if... Oh, that's a bummer. That ruined these pants. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, be sure to wear old clothes, not your work clothes. And... Oh, bummer. Oh, that's a bummer. Huh. Second pair of pants I've ruined. Dang it. Dang it. Okay. At least let's get it off the floor so I don't ruin the floor. Okay. Mess on the floor averted. Pants not so much. They took one for the team. That's alright. You want to be careful if there's any like indentations on the bottom of your cup. If you get a little wild stirring, it'll flick out real easy. You want to be careful. The hazards of crafting in a hurry. Okay, so is this... Oh, does this need... Boy, this one I did earlier, it was so liquidy and now it's super thick. Oh, man. Okay, well, we'll add water to that. Oh. Because the pouring medium's already in it? I don't know. Alright, added some water to that one. That's a bummer about the pants. Darn. Oh, shoot. It's the only bad thing when you find clothes you really like, and then, if you can still get them or not. Ah, dang. Alright, don't do this in work clothes or nice clothes. Hey, this paint, I guess you don't really paint in nice clothes, huh? Generally, if you're painting, you're in clothes you don't care about. Oh, this one's going to need water too. Yeah, look how thick that is. That pours pretty decent. That might be okay. Okay, and now this one. Alright. And then I don't know how long this stuff dries yet, because I was just messing around with it today. So as soon as we're done with this part, I'll come back and finish up after they're dry. And then you seal them with resin, is what you do. I think I'm going to get some cork, though, to put on the bottom of them. And then, you know, seal the whole thing with resin and then put cork on the bottom. But I'll get all that stuff when I do the other part of the video. But for now, We'll get it mixed up and see what it looks like. That looks horrible. Okay, so let's do this. I guess we'll just go ahead and start with this one. There you go, our first one. So I'm just gonna kind of pour in little amounts like that. They're just coasters. Oops. That one's a little more liquidy than the other ones. There we go. This one didn't hardly have a pour factor at all earlier. It was just like globby. And then you just layer them up like that. Oh, whoops. I think I'll do this one. Oh, see, that one's globby. It's not very pory. Let's see. Then it was this one. And this is messy, so if you have gloves, that would be ideal. Which I have some, I'm just too lazy to go get them. Probably why I have my nice pants on. I'm too lazy to go change. Okay, and now what you do is, you do this. Well, maybe not too lazy, I'm just too excited. I just want to see what this does. So you're just kind of supposed to pour it and do kind of a circular motion, I guess. Was what I gathered. Maybe not. Maybe you're just supposed to pour it straight down. That actually looks more like it. Oh, maybe you are just supposed to pour it straight down so it forms paint rings. And then you're supposed to tip it. Okay, so I think there's enough paint in the cups. I can do my second one. So then you just tilt this. Oh, I forgot to grab paper towels. Until you coat the whole thing. Oh, try not to pour it on the stand that you're going to lay this on. And it's just sitting on 4 of the mixing cups. Because otherwise it sticks to it. And then you'll probably have to sand it off so it's flat on the bottom again. You know, kind of a deal. Let's see, that's pretty marbled. And then you just kind of want to make sure you get paint on the sides and stuff. You could leave it and then go around and do, you know, something else on the sides if you wanted. You don't necessarily have to make sure that they're like this. I just like to paint on the sides is all. So I just use my finger to go around and touch it. Okay, that looks cool, right? And try not to touch your other ones, because I've been touching the other ones all day. Unless you mean to. Hey, that looks pretty cool. That's like marbly. Yeah, I think that looks super cool. And then the other one you can do is a flip one. So that's like the, you know, kind of the ring pory one. And so let's combine our paint again. And we'll do kind of a flippy one. Where they stack it up in the cup and then they just flip it over and then pick the cup up. And then it'll all just kind of come out at once. There we go. Just stacking up the colors. Let's see, go back to this one. Because you want to make sure you get enough that you're going to cover the surface, you know. And that one's done. Okay, that's good enough. I think we'll just add this green and call it good. Alright. Okay, so what you do with this technique is you take and you turn your the right side that you want paint on onto the top and then flip it over like that. Wait a few seconds and then for it to like drip down. And I'm just pitching these little containers because I'm done with them. The little containers I poured, did the paint in, mixed the paint in. Oh man. Let's see. And see what it looks like. Oh, had a little section there. Oh, look at that. I'm just going to pitch this. And then you tilt it. Trying to cover all the surfaces, but not your stand. There you go. Whoops. Oh, hit the stand. That's okay. Oh, I think I like that one better. Oh, look how pretty that is. I'm just using my finger to touch the sides to get paint on everything. Yeah, that looks good. Oh. Okay. I think that got everything. And that looks pretty cool, right? Ooh, that's pretty fun. I like it. And let's see. Yeah, that looks cool. So that's what this set looks like. And then I imagine these are probably going to take a couple of days to dry. But as soon as I come back, I'll let you know how many days it was. Yeah. Alright, so I'll watch paint dry and I'll be back. Thanks. Hey, welcome back, guys. So, I ended up finishing these coasters off, and I forgot to film. Sorry about that. I know I was going to do it with you, but I was so excited about getting all the products that I had found and found an easier way to finish them off than original. And so, yeah, I forgot to film it. But let me go ahead and tell you what I found out and how it all went, finishing it up. So basically, I left at paint drying. And so what ended up happening was after I turned the camera off and they were sitting in here for a little while, I noticed a really heavy smell of paint fumes. And so in trying to get rid of the fumes, I had the window cracked and all that stuff. Actually, it was open and everything and the door closed so it would go outside. There was so much paint left in the bottom of the pan that we were pouring in that I wanted to get rid of the pans to get the paint fumes out, and ended up taking the coasters off of the little cup stands I had them sitting on, and I put them on a silicone mat to dry in here. Hindsight being what it is, I wish I would have left them and just took the whole tray and like stuck them in a garage or out of in a space where they weren't going to get ruined by the elements, whether outside or whatever, dust, dirt, bugs, whatever. I could have probably stuck them in the garage and they would have been fine. So in doing that, taking them off the stands and putting them on the silicone mat, I ended up accidentally touching them. They had a skin on them, but they weren't ready to be touched. And I ended up ruining some of the finish on them. I tried to smooth it out and stuff, but they just ended up bumpy and everything. So then I thought, well, let's just see what happens letting them dry. And maybe it will, they'll smooth out just sitting there drying and end up with a finish like this one. But they didn't. They just ended up getting dark and drying matte. And so that didn't work. But so I thought, well, let's go ahead and finish them off, and maybe that will help them to look better. And so basically, after I took them off the silicone mats, or after I took them off the stands and put them on the silicone mat to dry, I was actually able to pick these up. They were dry to the touch and everything the following morning. So it didn't actually take that long. Not as long as I thought. I was thinking a couple of days, but the next morning I finished pouring it like 12:30, and then by the next morning these were all dry to the touch. So I thought that was actually pretty nice and a pretty good time wise. So that ended up being really cool. Well, the thing about this stuff is it actually takes about 2 weeks for the paint to dry, and I thought, with ruining it, let's see if we let it cure, if it will just keep getting better, and it didn't. They just, like I said, got dark and dried matte. So while I let them cure, though, I was doing a little research because I was a little bit apprehensive about doing the resin finish, and that's what I said we were going to do. Was when I had researched it the first time and I had only looked around a little bit, that's kind of what everybody said. The best finish was doing it resin, but that's a process. It's a really big process, and I thought there's got to be an easier, better, more efficient way. And so I found a bunch of products that would actually finish these, and I ended up getting something that made it go so fast. And this is one of the products I purchased. This is the one I actually used to finish these. This is Aleene's Acrylic Sealer Gloss Finish Spray. It's fast drying, and it's for indoor-outdoor projects. It works really well and dries really quick. Basically what I did was I took all the coasters outside, and around my patio on my sidewalk, I have rocks. I laid them out on the rocks, and then I ended up, you have to shake this up really well. You hold it just a few inches away, and it was even windy when I was doing it, and just do a light coat over the whole top of it, and on the sides and stuff. And you only have to wait like 10 minutes. It dries that fast. So I did that, applied 3 coats, and then let them sit outside the rest of the afternoon for the smell to dissipate, because it's a regular aerosol type of spray that, like paint or anything like that. You want to use it well ventilated area. It's highly flammable, that kind of thing. So you definitely want to let them dry outside if you can, and in an open, well ventilated area. So I went ahead and did that. And by the time I picked them up in the afternoon, they didn't hardly have a smell. They were completely dry. And so I brought them in here, and ended up letting them finish curing in here and all that stuff, and drying and all that. And they turned out really stinking nice. They turned out really nice. So to finish the back of them, I ended up, when I put them on the gloss, or on the silicone mat, the drips that were on the edge that hadn't, totally come off, they ended up mashing down and creating big globs. And so I had to take a craft knife and cut them off like that, trim off the edge and everything, so that way the cork backing would sit on here really nice and not look janky. And I think that the cork backing actually finished them off really, really nicely, and they came out really cool. I really, with practice, I think these will be super awesome. They'll be really fun, and they were so easy. I couldn't believe it. And so basically, if I could keep my fingers out of it and leave them on the stands, they will end up being a super fun project. Really great Christmas presents. Yeah, I couldn't be more happy with it. So I ended up with these cork backers. Bought a pack of 100, 50 circles and 50 squares like this. They come with the already adhesive and super strong adhesive. You peel the little white piece off like that, and then you stick it to the back, push it down, and voila, finished. A little craft knife work, and boom, you're done. So that pack of 100 was $16.69, so they end up being about 17 cents a piece. In my hunt, I also found, oh, and so the Aleene's gloss finish, you can get this as cheap as about $7 a can, a little less, but on average, it's about $10 a can. And I did all 8 of these and didn't hardly use any of the can, even on 3 coats. So, and it put a really nice finish on it. Really nice finish. So then, in the hunt, I also, well, found this pack of wood coasters. It's 150 squares and 50 circles for $19.59, which makes them about 20 cents a coaster. And these are wood, and they're a little thinner than the, they're about half the thickness of the little birdie ones, but they're still really nice. And if you put the backer on it, they'll have a, the cork backer on it, they'll actually be a substantial thickness, you know, for a coaster. And if you wanted to do these for like a craft fair or Christmas presents or wedding favors, or something like that, they would actually be really economical. I mean, just the coaster and the cork alone, you're only 37 cents a piece. And then you just have a little few cents in spray and then your paint. And the other thing I was going to tell you was, you actually don't need pouring paint. Pouring paint is supposed to be thinned down regular acrylic paint. Well, in my experience, when we did this, that stuff was crazy thick. And actually, this cheap acrylic craft paint is thinner than that stuff was. And it's acrylic paint, so you could totally use this stuff to pour. All you need is the pouring medium. And what this does is, it's actually the binder for the paint to put onto stuff, and it hardens it. It's what makes it, you know, stick and bind to whatever you're putting it on. And so you do need that, and this was $4 at Little Birdie. And it's 240 milliliters. Well, on average, these 59 milliliter paint, you know, little paint jars you can get for, God, I think like on sale, you can get them crazy cheap, way less than $1. So, and they don't hardly use any paint, especially when you're mixing a whole bunch of colors. So I think it would definitely be a very cost-effective craft fair item, or a favor for Christmas gifts for, you know, co-workers, teachers, a stocking stuffer, family members. You could put a set of 4 together and, you know, give them a really nice gift. And personalized, it'd be so fun. Do them in their colors or whatnot. It'd be a hoot. And so I thought they came out really nice. Wish I would have had the mind to turn the camera on when I was doing it. I was really excited. Sorry about that. And but hope you enjoyed this share, and hope you give it a try. Let me know if you do. And sure, it would be fun. Sure, it'd be fun to see your projects as well. And oh, and I saved my pants. I ended up finding more at LL Bean, and they had them in stock. I had to get different colors, but that's okay. And so I got 5 more to replace the 2 I ruined. So now I have spares. So anyhow, thanks for hanging out. Until next time, happy crafting, guys. Bye-bye.